apple for taking my grandparents for granted? My wife and I made plans back in January with a group of friends to go to a beer festival in the mountains. It's 3 families and some other friends, so about 9 people in total. The festival is Labor Day weekend, and my grandparents invited us and some other family members to a barbecue that weekend. I texted my grandpa and let him know I wouldn't be able to make it because I already had plans that weekend, and he said he understood and that it was no problem. But then my mom texted me asking why we couldn't come, and I explained the situation. She told me she's very disappointed and that I need to make this barbecue a priority and I should cancel my other plans to go to the beer festival to go to the barbecue. She then goes on this guilt trip saying that my grandparents are in their 80s and we won't have many more opportunities to get together. She told me that a beer festival is not a good reason to blow off my grandparents and that I really need to reconsider my priorities. Am I the bad apple for asking my Lyft driver for his name? I, 29 female, went to a dance event in my home city and booked a train ticket back to my current state on the last train back, which was about 11:25 p.m. The dance event gave me enough time to book a Lyft, but it would have been a tight squeeze time-wise. I didn't have any time to dilly-dally. When my driver arrived, I double-checked the license plate, and then I asked the driver, "Hey, what's your name?" He rolled his eyes and said, "Well, if you're skeptical, you don't have to take the ride." He kept repeatedly saying that I shouldn't be doubting his identity, and if I was gonna be weird, he didn't want to drive me anywhere. I apologized, and I told him that I really kind of had to go. I didn't have a lot of spare time to just sit here and argue with him. I was just trying to make sure that I was safe. He responded that he didn't want a pressured ride, and he didn't want to feel like he was doing anything wrong just because I didn't trust him, so maybe I should find a different driver. Am I the bad apple for putting googly eyes on all the food in the fridge and creating a hostile environment at home? My roommate eats everything. I'll buy a pack of cheese sticks, and they're all gone by morning. I've asked nicely if he could not eat my food. I've labeled things that were my food. No change. He eats everything. So I got creative. I bought a pack on sticky googly eyes and put them on everything. Milk, eyes. Leftover spaghetti, eyes. Judging you, eyes judging him. I even taped eyes to a banana. Well, I guess it worked. He said the eyes creeped him out and he stopped eating my stuff. Well, now he says I'm being passive-aggressive and creating an emotionally hostile refrigerator and hostile environment in our home.
Miss Rogers, someone wrote their name on the wall in the bathroom. Again? These kids need to stop taking markers to the bathroom. It wasn't in marker. What was it in? They did it with their poopy. Emily, what was the name written on the wall in the bathroom? I don't remember. Is the name Emily written on the wall by any chance? It might be. I'm sure there's so many Emilys in this school. Actually, you're the only one on this hall that uses that bathroom. Well, I guess James just went and framed me. So James went to the girls' bathroom to write your name on the wall in poop? Makes sense to me. And when you're the only one to ask to use the restroom today. You know what, Miss Rogers? You should just be lucky that I told you that I found it. And you should go look at it when you get a chance.
Am I the bad apple for not wanting my husband's ex-wife in my house? My stepdaughter asked if she can have her son's birthday party at my home. She and I don't really get along, but I love her son, so I said of course. I said, however, I'm not comfortable with her bio mom, my husband's ex-wife, in my house, though, as she's caused a lot of issues, is an addict and a thief. I offered to pay for a venue if they wanted to invite her mom, as to not have her running around inside my house. However, my husband then got upset, insinuating that I just hate my stepdaughter and made him feel like crap, and he's now sleeping somewhere else tonight. I have no issues with the party being here, and I have no issues with the stepdaughter being here, even though we don't really communicate. I just don't want the ex to come, and I don't see why that makes me a bad person. Am I the bad apple for saying my sister can't move in? My sister, 22 female, her boyfriend, let's call him Tom, 24 male, me, 13 female, and my brother, 20 male, are all currently arguing about my sister and her boyfriend moving in. In 2021, my sister moved out and met her boyfriend, and they moved in together under Tom's sister's tenancy. Recently, she hasn't kicked them out, but she did basically say they have a week to get out, and my mom decided to be the mom of the year and asked my sister and her boyfriend if they want to move in here. My brother and I don't want her to move in here. I mean, it's a 3-bedroom house, and me and my brother and my mom all live here in our own rooms. There's no space for her. Well, now they're saying that I have no say in the decision, and I don't think that's fair or right.
I've never felt so called out in my life. I'm at my Latina friend's baby shower, and when her family announced the food was ready, we made eye contact and they said, "Don't worry, it's not spicy."
Am I the bad apple for pressuring my ex to give up their parental rights? I, 29 female, am engaged to my fiance, 26 male, and have a 5-year-old daughter, H, with my ex, P, 28 female. P is currently transitioning and taking hormones, becoming a woman. For a while, P lived with H for about 6 months after we separated. P basically stopped parenting H. About a month ago, H came to live with me and my fiance full time. Since then, P hasn't called at all, hasn't made any effort to spend time with H. Today, my fiance found out that P moved away. I mean, she literally left the state without telling anyone, including H. P didn't even tell H goodbye. Originally, I wasn't going to pursue child support, but after P disappeared without notice, I changed my mind. I gave her a choice. Either pay child support and stay involved in H's life, or terminate your parental rights. I had like a weird, creepy teacher in high school. I know he does not work there anymore. Like they asked him to leave a couple years after. It wasn't his choice. They asked him to leave a couple years after I graduated. I had him for 2 semesters. And I'm like really nervous. He taught Law and Justice and AP Gov. We never learned anything about Law and Justice or AP Gov. We learned all year about the JFK assassination. Like that's it. That's all he would talk about. Like that's all he wanted to. We watched movies about it. We watched like all these things. I like now know all about the conspiracies about the JFK assassination. But even more than that, like he was also creepy. Like he straight up asked me if he could keep some of my senior photos in his desk. Then he had assigned seats. So first semester, like it was all in alphabetical order, right? Second semester, everyone else was in alphabetical order, and I was put right in front of his desk. Yeah. And my ex in high school, the teacher, same teacher, one day I just walked into class and he's like, "I heard about your boyfriend, and I just want you to know that you're prettier than the girl he cheated on you with."
That is like unacceptable.
It was so weird.
Listen,
I'm not a math person. I do social studies. So I remember, my kids, the first thing that we do is we look at current events every day of what's going around the world around us. Mm-hmm. One of the current events was about, it was flooding somewhere, and they were talking about 52 inches of rain. And I just remember being at the front of the class going, "Whoa, that's so much rain. I don't really know how much rain it is, but I bet that's like